Hello, as I promised, I finished my test and now I am here for another rule comparison for Napoleonic. Come and let's see. Welcome back to the channel for the promised rule comparison between again Valor Fortitude and this time General Army. I bought the PDF but I printed out the paper version because I prefer to have something to read it through when I'm playing. And let me say with the pro of this rule set, which is in my opinion a great rule set for many reasons. They have some really nice idea, very fun to play. The system of the Aide camp is wonderful, very fun, very realistic. I love it. And for the rest is a massive rule set with a lot of modifier to keep in mind, but all in all the fire phase, the melee phase and the charge phase are all good and allow pretty much a realistic battle on the field in a reasonable amount of time if you play with small point. Different thing if you run bigger. Compared to Valor and Fortitude, the system are different, but all in all not so different. One of the main difference in melee and in the consequent morale systems in that in General Army you have to do much damage to a unit in order to destroy it. You need more than 4 or 5 casualty to start to break a battalion in this game, and this could be good or not, it depending on what are you looking for the game. So now moving into the cons of this game, in my opinion, not in general opinion, but in my opinion, it is massive, as I said before, so lots of stuff to keep in mind, especially if you play solo game. This is the main drawback of this game. If you want to play solo, you have to move 2 armies, even with the help of an AI or something like this to move the 2 armies, and you have to keep in mind all of this stuff just to accomplish the game. So it is really hard to memorize it, and probably is needed lots of game and gaming only on General Army just to remember all of this. Playing solo, even playing in 2 friends, but solo is quite impossible. And so drive strike to continuously control a table, crisscross the number of the table, and this means a huge loss of time. The other drawback, which is not a small one in my opinion, it is rigidity of the list, where Valor and Fortitude is completely open to your knowledge of the period, and no one forbids you to fill a list made all of the old guard, for example, or cuirassier, or whatever you want. This is the general idea. You need some research if you want to play historical, even in a pickup game, a kind of knowledge of the period, but Napoleonic player usually know the period, so a plausible verosimile list can be easily put together with Valor and Fortitude and use that shit. The lists here are very rigid. You have to, let me find it here, you have to follow the main rule for the period: 3 line battalion, 3 light battalion on the 2nd brigade, 4 line battalion reservists in the 3rd infantry brigade, and so on and so on. I know you can skip it, but if you want to stay according to this table for the French and for every other army, it's more rigid and often unrealistic compared to reality in build up your list. Maybe I misunderstood how the list building worked, but if I have to strictly find this rule for composing my brigade on the table, I feel that is completely far from the reality. I think the British in the peninsula, and if I go looking for British division, they are completely different. Two drilled infantry line, a small drilled infantry battalion, extra 60 skirmish base. This is the only one, because they change in many ways. In many divisions they do not cover this one for the first brigade. Repeat, maybe I misunderstood how the composition works, but in this case this is much more rigid and probably worse than the system in Valor Fortitude, at least for me, and again at least for solo game. The last thing that I have to say as a cons is with a larger game, especially if you play solo, but even if you play in a couple of friends or many more. As per Black Powder, it requests a lot of time to complete a game. You have many models to move, dice to roll, comparison on the table, so all in all it takes a long time to finish a large game, which is not in Valor Fortitude, which maybe are a little bit agnostic, maybe is a little more empiric than General Black Powder or other rule set, but have the pros that is quick, even with larger game, no more than 3-4 hours at worst is needed to complete a game of around 1,000 points. And a 1,000-point game in Valor Fortitude is a huge one, maybe involving a 5 or 6 brigade of cavalry and infantry with 4 or 5 battalion per brigade, so a large one. This will take a day, a complete day, maybe more than one, to finish such a large game, in my opinion. So all in all, again, I prefer Valor Fortitude over General Army. At least as a solo player, because I'm mainly solo player, Valor Fortitude is much easier to allow to complete a game, allow you to finish a game in reasonable time, and without losing the feeling of the period, the feeling of the Napoleonic era. So that's it, the two comparisons that I've made clear much idea in me, and as I can play General Darmé or Black Powder with friend, if with weapon, I still prefer Valor Fortitude, and I will stick with them for my channel, for my game, at least for the now. Another game, Napoleonic game, completely different, is Eagle to Glory. This one, because it's different. It play on a large battle, grand strategy game, grand tactical game, because you play at corps division. If you want and don't have enough space, you can play with army level, and every stance is a battalion, but all in all, reducing all of them in a roll of 2 dice, 1 for initiative and 1 for the fighting, and crisscross a single table for the movement and a single table for the outcome of the melee, the fighting in general. If you want, firefight and skirmish and melee and artillery are all in a single table. It's very quick. If you've seen the couple of videos that I've just posted, you can play with a corpse on the table and finish the game in a couple of hours, even as a solo game. Probably it became longer if you play with another person rather than a solo, but this one is completely different, because you have no need to make list. You can, but it's easy, very easy to emulate the larger, the most important battle of the Napoleonic era, and you have the order of battle just ready, and it's easy to put them on the field. So it's another thing, another words. So that's it. Thank you for watching. Happy wargaming, and bye bye.